Part 161. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1601. Fang Fan thought that he had never been a casual person. If you really get up casually, that is also measured and restrained. Father-in-law, don't worry, I have a sense of proportion, and you should pay attention to safety when you are in the temple. If you encounter any difficulties, just go to Archbishop Nangong Hong-ai, he is a trustworthy person. Fang Fan told in turn that the current Chentian clan can be regarded as the closest and most trustworthy allies of the human emperor's palace. In addition to the tacit understanding between each other, there is also a certain marriage relationship. Everything is ready and ready to go. My lord, the people of the Huang race in that transport ship seem to be a little turbulent. Galen flew over from a distance and reported from the side. The members of the Huangzi tribe on the transport ship were the war slaves of the Huangzi tribe that Fang Fan exchanged for contribution points in the Hall of Contribution, but he did not expect to encounter some entanglements at this moment. Originally, Fang Fan was going to meet them and explain the matter clearly. Let the deputy head of the Huangqian army, the head of the Huangshi war, and the head of the Barren Mountain war come over. Fang Fan exhaled, then waved his hand and said. At the same time, Fang Fan strode directly towards the transport ship. At this moment, there are 41,000 desolate people on board this transport ship. Among them, there were 33,000 males and 8,000 females. Return our child. This group of demons. They are all demons. Fight them. They killed our children, and they still want us to work for him. Great rage God. Please send down divine punishment and annihilate them all. I, a member of the desolate race, swear to the death that I will not bow my head. We will definitely not work for tigers. You'd better kill us. Otherwise, we will fight you when we get out of bondage. Desolate people, never be slaves. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. The entire transport ship shook following the shouts again and again, and the frequency and speed of the shaking became larger and larger. If this trend continues, it may not be long before this transport spaceship will directly fall apart. It's me who redeemed you. My name is Fang Fan. Hall Master of Human Emperor's Hall, 5th rank Bishop of the Light Alliance Temple, and the upcoming Inspector of the 308th Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion. Fang Fan walked directly into it and declared his identity directly. In the eyes, there was a blood stain, and on the deck, blood was dripping everywhere. It is conceivable how strong the will to resist these Huangzi people is. You are a very gentleman, please give us a good time, Your Excellency. We Huang people do not want to be your cannon fodder, please let us retain our last dignity. A dark-skinned woman came out from the crowd of the desolate race. Her facial features were beautiful. From Fang Fan's point of view, she was a black beauty. Because of the years of sunshine, her skin was gloomy and dark, even darker than the average man's skin is even darker. What's your name? Are you their leader? Fang Fan looked at the woman in front of him, nodded secretly and said. Is this very important? You can also choose to give us a knife, and we will solve it ourselves. You chose to seal our spiritual power, making us incapable of committing suicide. I don't think this is a good method. As the black-skinned desolate woman spoke, a pair of jet black eyes suddenly shone brightly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1602. You, don't have to die. Follow me, and I will lead you to a new era. Fang Fan glanced at the black-skinned desolate woman, and said sincerely. No. We have our own beliefs. If there is no freedom, we would rather die. People of the desolate race. They will only be loyal to the great desolation god, and others can only use us by relying on despicable threats and deceit. We choose to refuse. We can't control our own life, so destroy it completely. As the black-skinned desolate woman spoke, her gaze became sharper and more penetrating. Such thoughts churned in my mind and gradually became more intense. Fang Fan raised his head, the corners of his mouth turned up silently, and there were streaks of light in his eyes. Follow me. Because, I am Rage God. I will lead the Desolate clan, break out of the siege, and reunite the totems of the Desolate clan. As Fang Fan spoke, his eyes became more and more earnest, and his thoughts were soaring. How dare you blaspheme the great Rage God? Even if we are unarmed, we will fight to the death. The black-skinned desolate woman suddenly opened her eyes wide, and then crazily rushed towards Fang Fan's position like a vigorous cheetah, which was completely different from the previous indifferent state. For the people of the Huang clan, faith is heaven. The majesty of the Rage God. Fang Fan murmured softly, the aura on his body suddenly changed, traces of intense divine power wandered around, and the aura that belonged exclusively to the Rage God was fully revealed. The black-skinned desolate woman's attack came to an abrupt end. She opened her mouth, her lips trembled slightly, she gave up the attack, her jumping body unconsciously began to fall from it. Desolation, under the crown of the God of Desolation. It's the aura under the crown of the Rage God. You, who are you? Why do you have the aura of the Rage God on your body? The dark-skinned woman was the first to ask, and then all the members of the Huang tribe in the transport ship were all erupting. They stood up and gathered together with excited faces. The originally numb pupils gradually became more excited. Because, I am Rage God. You, have suffered. From now on, I promise that I will not let you suffer even the slightest bit of persecution of dignity and personality. I am late. Fang Fan murmured to himself, glanced around the group of Huangzi people, and then took a heavy breath. The unique aura displayed by every member of the Huangzi tribe is enough to make him admire. On this point, it's never been true. Master. My lord. Outside the transport ship, Huang Gan, Huang Shi, and Huang Shan walked in, and each of them saluted each other. The excitement in their eyes was obvious when they saw the entire group of Huang people on the transport ship. This is the blood power belonging to the people of the same clan, this makes them feel moved and ecstatic from the bottom of their hearts. The desolate race, this is the most united race. You, are also members of my desolate tribe. Then this, is really the great Rage God. After seeing Huang Gan and Huang Shi, the black-skinned desolate woman also became excited. Huang Qian's delicate body trembled, her body trembled unnaturally, the excitement in her eyes was hard to express in words, they had waited too long for this moment. While speaking, hot tears flowed from her eyes crazily, Huang Qian pursed her red lips, her body trembling became more and more intense. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1603. We are all desolate people. Son, you have suffered. We, the people of the desolate race, are all hard-working people. We used to be just like you. Now that the Rage God has returned, and our souls are united, everything will become better. As the patriarch of the Huang clan in the Wailing Canyon lineage, Huang Gan also had tears in his eyes at this moment. Only after experiencing it can he know how difficult it is for the people of the Huang clan. This is the most real feeling from the heart. Meet your Majesty the Rage God. Meet your Majesty the Rage God. There were shouts, and more than 40,000 Huangzi people on the transport ship knelt down at the same time, and the power of faith was increasing crazily. Under Fang Fan's command, the number of 10th level fanatics suddenly increased by more than 41,000. Every member of the Huang tribe is a well-deserved fanatic. Your Majesty the Rage God, Huang Qian would like to die to apologize. Please forgive my clansmen for their disrespect to you. Everything is my fault. Huang Qian, a black-skinned woman from the desolate tribe, suddenly knelt down in front of Fang Fan with a persistent expression, and then clenched her teeth fiercely, as if she was about to bite her tongue and kill herself. In fact, there is a high probability that this method will not kill him, and killing himself by biting his tongue, will only seriously injure himself. Fang Fan stood lightly in front of Huang Qian, a woman from the Haofo Huang tribe, and stopped her self-mutilation. You never do anything wrong. You don't need to apologize. I need you to join my team. Let us create a brand new desolate race together. The future desolate race will definitely stand proudly in the forest of strong races. The former glory will eventually return. Fang Fan stared at the bright eyes of the Haofu desolate woman, and said solemnly, "Great harvest today. More than 41,000 people from the desolate race have been added to his human emperor's hall again. Among them, more than 33,000 adult male tribesmen of the desolate tribe are the most qualified fighters. Together with Fang Fan, they will fight to the end." Huang Qian, a black-skinned woman from the desolate tribe, knelt down silently on the ground, staring straight at Fang Fan's skirt with her bright eyes. A warm current surged in her heart inexplicably. Everything was a familiar smell. In her mind, these they all felt very real, and made her fascinated. This is the feeling, take a sip, and even the air becomes more fresh. 8,000 female members of the Baron tribe entered the small world of Shushan Pavilion to recuperate. 33,000 adult male members of the desolate race are directly incorporated into the Human Emperor's Legion and become a member of the Human Emperor's Legion. The deputy head of the Human Emperor's Legion will make overall arrangements. 3 independent war regiments are organized in batches. They are the 11th War Regiment, the 11th War Regiment and the 13th War Regiment of the Human Emperor's Legion. Candidates for the war regiment leaders will be selected from this batch of desolate tribes. Appoint Huang Qian as the head of the 11th Battle Group of the Emperor's Legion. I hope you will fight with me to the end. Invincible. Fang Fan gave an order, and the fighting situation gathered instantly. This time, Fang Fan brought the Emperor's Legion and the Slaves' Legion with him. The Slaves' Legion has not been replenished after many fierce battles, so now there are only more than 80,000 people, and there are 9 war regiments in front of them. The Human Sovereign Legion was fully staffed when it set off, but there were only 8,000 soldiers at the real King realm and above. According to Fang Fan, all the soldiers below the true King realm returned to the small world of Shushan Pavilion to practice, so a human sovereign. In fact, the Legion originally had the strength of more than half of the battle group. But now adding Huang Qian and the 33,000 Huang people under her command made up for a certain amount of vacancy. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1604. At this moment, there are 80,000 soldiers from the War Slaves Legion and 40,000 from the Emperor's Legion, making it the first time that Fang Fan has more than 100,000 legions directly under his command. And all of them are above the true King realm. Among them, the 3 newly added desolate clan battle groups in Human Emperor's Palace are all elite soldiers of the Emperor's realm, including more than 30 people from the desolate clan of the Quasi-Holy Realm. The lineup expanded instantly. Set off. With Fang Fan's order, the major armies heard the news and started to run towards the set goal. The goal of this trip is Xingyu Island, which is located in the southeast of Qingtian Sanctuary, adjacent to the Broken Soul Demon Realm where the Dark Temple is located. It can be regarded as a key pass, otherwise such a major battle would not have happened before. How many people and horses are there in your Tianhu clan? Fang Fan glanced at Tianhu Meyer. This time they acted together. The Tianhu clan and Renhuangdian were both allies and comrades in arms. To a certain extent, Fang Fan now has the direct command right to the Tianhu clan. The Dongguo Saint had already given him the command of the Tianhu clan. Millions of people from the real king realm, more than 10,000 people from the emperor's realm. I hope you will take pity on me. Tianhu Meyer blinked and said to Fang Fan suddenly. Fang Fan froze for a moment, his forehead was full of question marks. Can you speak well? Do you have to bring a little ambiguity? Does that sound fluent? Fang Fan curled his lips, feeling his scalp tingling inexplicably. Whether the Tianhu tribe is strong or not, it is not enough to say that it is weak. The general fourth-rank forces will bring millions of soldiers from the real king's realm and tens of thousands of elite soldiers from the emperor's master's realm. In the past, Fang Fan's criterion for judging the Tianhu clan was the fourth-rank power, but now it seems that it is slightly worse. A million true King Realm Skyfox clan members are not even as powerful as the more than 10,000 Skyfox clan Emperor Master Realm clansmen. Therefore, the Tianhu clan can barely be divided into 20,000 Imperial Masters. Fang Fan thought to himself, if the combat power of the 20,000 Imperial Lord Realm is used well, it can produce miraculous effects. When we arrive at Xingyu Island and find out the surrounding situation clearly, we can start to act. The purpose of this trip is to establish a battle honor and advance early. When will the title of the 5th rank bishop be changed to the 4th rank archbishop, and the wish will be initially achieved? Fang Fan took a deep breath and meditated in his heart. These thoughts churned in his mind and began to deploy slowly. Xingyu Island, the station of the 308th Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion. At this moment, in the central military tent of this garrison, several well-dressed generals gathered separately. I have received reliable news that our 308th Bronze Legion will usher in a Bronze Legion supervisor. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, scanned the surrounding area with indifferent eyes, and then said something lightly, as if he didn't care at all. Legion Commander, I've heard all about it. Damn, I heard that he's a kid who just entered the temple. He's still a 5th rank bishop. When will a 5th rank bishop become the supervisor of our Bronze Legion? If the Bronze Legion inspector is really appointed, it should be the acting Archbishop Xianan. The acting Archbishop Xianan is a deputy 4th rank priest, and he has been the first Black Iron Legion inspector in our 308 Bronze Legion for so many years. It can be regarded as highly respected. Those people above obviously don't care about our 308th Bronze Legion. They just sent a brat here to plate gold. 308, the head of the first Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, the Wild Lion, howled furiously. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1605. The head of the Wild Lion Army can't say that, after all, this is the meaning of the above, we should abide by it, we still have to abide by it. What do you say above? We just do what we do. What do I have to do with my personal gains and losses? Xianan, the inspector of the first Black Iron Legion of the 308th Legion, rolled his eyes and looked calm, but the gloomy look at the corner of his mouth completely betrayed him. In the central military tent, all kinds of shouts continued. The head of the 308 Bronze Legion, Hot Spring, had a panoramic view of everything, and his gaze immediately became pure. This legion belongs to him, and he doesn't want anyone to get involved. This is the major premise. He doesn't care about the following small actions, even, there is a sense of encouragement, but don't shake his military power. The status of the head of the Bronze Legion and the supervisor is the same to some extent. At a critical moment, if the inspector finds that there is something wrong with the thinking of the Legion leader of the corresponding level, he can even arrest him directly in the name of the temple. Hot Spring secretly squinted his eyes, and there were streaks of icy light in his eyes. You all give me peace of mind. Anyway, that person is a bronze level supervisor personally appointed by the temple. As long as our fundamental interests are not involved, no random actions are allowed. It's an eventful time now, one thing more is worse than one thing less. Since you know that he is here for gilding, you should also know that there must be a stronger backer behind him. You just have to know what to do. Hot Spring, head of the 308 Bronze Legion, said with a calm look in his eyes. It seems that the few words he said are all nonsense, but there is actually a hidden secret. To put it bluntly, it is actually blatantly implying that as long as our interests are not touched, everything can be discussed, and once the fundamental interests are touched, there is no need to hold back. The Emperor Shangao was far away, and the Xingyu island where they were stationed was several days away from the Holy City of Light. In addition, this is the period of the War of Gods, and there are several casualties of the inspectors. Is it a thing? As soon as Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, spoke, there were bursts of echoing voices from around, and they nodded to express their complete understanding. When the military meeting was about to end, Xianan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion under the 308th Bronze Legion, left his seat with a gloomy expression, looking particularly upset. Acting Archbishop Xianan, don't be so anxious. Wait for me. The head of the 1st Black Iron Legion under the 308 Bronze Legion, Kuang Lion, immediately chased them out as if to please them. The status of the two of them can be imagined. Acting Archbishop Xianan, I know you are angry, but this is a matter from above. According to my opinion, you are well deserved to be the bronze level inspector. Kuang Lion, head of the 1st Black Iron Legion, immediately expressed his loyalty. It stands to reason that they are all on the same level, and there is no need to put on this dog-licking posture. But the so-called equal rank is only equal rank in position, not equal in status. Xianan is the acting archbishop of the deputy 4th rank. This level of priesthood can even directly become a bronze-level inspector, supervise a bronze-level legion, and sit on an equal footing with a bronze-level legion commander. Maybe he will take off directly at any time. And he, Wild Lion, wants to be promoted to a higher rank to become the bronze rank army commander, which is even more difficult. At this time, it is a routine operation to flatter a wave in advance. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1606. He, is that so? The head of the Wild Lion Army can see clearly. I guarantee that this kid won't be able to stay in the 308 Bronze Legion for a few days. When the time comes, you will know right from wrong. It's just that I really can't swallow the breath in my heart. When that person comes that day, I hope that the Wild Lions can help me, so that I can calm down. Xianan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion, said pointedly. From Xianan's point of view, he didn't pay attention to the big man like Wild Lion at all. He always felt that their status was unequal. It's just that sometimes you need to take advantage of a wave, so you have to pretend to be brotherly. Clear. Don't worry, the acting archbishop, everything will be handled clearly for you. Wild Lion's eyes brightened, and it's time to express himself again. Driving on the road to the 308th Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion, Fang Fan devoted himself to cultivating and consolidating his cultivation. By the way, I spent 5,000 strands of God's origin power to exchange for 5 gold quality hero promotion cards. Correspondingly, Galen, Vega, Caitlyn, Jax, and Daji have all been promoted to platinum quality heroes. In other words, their potential upper limit has reached the sanctuary realm at this moment. At the same time, each breakthrough in their cultivation bases, stopping at the 1-star sanctuary realm. All 6 heroes have been promoted to 1-star sanctuary realm. It is equivalent to having 6 more 1-star sanctuary forces under Fang Fan's command. Unknown battlefield, unknown risks, everything is unknown. At this time, you can make the combat power under your command stronger, and you can better control the battle situation. The 308th Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion, that is the starting point, and it will gradually spread. Fang Fan's heart moved slightly, and the corners of his mouth gradually rose. A few days later, Xingyu Island. My lord, there is no one to greet me, this is not in line with the etiquette system? According to the normal procedure, when the bronze level inspector takes office, everyone from the bronze level legion commander down will go out to greet them, so as to show respect for the temple. It's too much for them to do this. Hao Yu stood beside Fang Fan, with a look of resentment on his face. Now he has been officially promoted to Fang Fan's horseboy. After all, he spent 100,000 star cores to buy the horseboy position, so he showed his devotion to his duties along the way, and handled all kinds of things properly. The point is that this guy is the son of the master of Haoshan Pavilion, a second-rank power. Although he is a bastard, he knows a lot of etiquette rules, so he can help a lot. Enter the island. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and directly chose to lead the army. At the entrance, Fang Fan was stopped by a standard army. This is the garrison of the 308th Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion. Idlers are not allowed to enter. The guards at the entrance of the island seem to be quite dedicated to their duties. Quickly get out of the way. This is the newly appointed bronze level inspector, Bishop Fang Fan. This is the letter of appointment. Hurry up and get out of the way. Hao Yun held the letter of appointment to clear the matter in front of him. According to the normal situation, he can enter at this time. The relevant procedures must be relatively complete, and the letter of appointment has also been taken out. To a certain extent, there is no fake possible. Several soldiers guarding the entrance of the island looked at each other, and then suddenly started to run away. Get out! Get out! A spy! It must be a spy. Where did the bronze level inspector come from? We haven't been notified. Yes. Call me. Snapped. Clap clap. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1607. Holding the letter of appointment in his hand, Hao Yun was slapped several times, and was once stunned. The situation has taken a turn for the worse. Fang Fan's complexion turned gloomy in an instant. This is clearly a game, and it's a game against him. If it is really aimed at some spies, wouldn't it be fine to kill them directly or surround them? Deliberately slapped? I'm afraid the spies won't escape by themselves, aren't they? Human Emperor Legion. Give it to me. Pay their weapons. As soon as Fang Fan gave an order, the formation immediately rose up, and Huang Gan led tens of thousands of people from the Human Emperor's Legion to rush over, and surrounded the entrance of the island tightly. Thousands of soldiers were deployed at the entrance of the island. Under the coercion of Fang Fan's army, they had no choice but to surrender. What do you want to do? I'm Qin Gang, commander of the 1st Battle Group of the 308th Bronze Legion, the 1st Black Iron Legion. Are you going to challenge the entire Azure Dragon army? Put down your weapons. Put down your weapons. Among the crowd, a middle-aged man in black battle armor first introduced himself, and then began to threaten. Let him go. Fang Fan walked forward indifferently, and glanced at Hao Yun. At this moment, Hao Yun was tightly guarding the appointment letter in his hand, and at least 10 swords were placed on his neck to show coercion. Disarm first. Otherwise, he will surely die. This is Xingyu Island. It's the territory of our 308th Bronze Legion. Give me acquaintance points. Qin Gang, head of the 1st Battle Group of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, stared and said proudly. I'll say it again, let him go, you can live, otherwise, die. Before Fang Fan came here, he had already made preparations for the attack. He even persuaded himself to do less killing and try to convince others with virtue. After all, he is here to be a bronze-level inspector, not to be the judge of Hades. But now his patience has reached its limit, but some people are still trying to challenge his bottom line. What if we don't let you go? Let me tell you. Behind us is the entire 308th Bronze Legion. We are the Legion of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. What can you do to us? Do you still dare to attack us? He, the tribunal is not a decoration. If you are arrested at that time, you will definitely die. I advise you to put down your weapons obediently, otherwise you will be killed. 308 Qin Gang, head of the first battle group of the first Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, was still screaming. Kill! Fang Fan waved his hand, he had already reminded him twice, it was enough. Whoosh whoosh. 6 1-star Sanctuary level heroes were dispatched at the same time, and 7 1-star Sanctuary level Bloodshuras of the Bloodshura Legion were also dispatched at the same time. The frenzied sweeping attack of the 13 Sanctuary level powerhouses is terrifying. Only those who have experienced it will know how terrifying it is. This is a massacre without difficulty. Hao Yun was quickly rescued. At the same time, the guy who claimed to be the head of the first battle group of the first Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion was also beaten back steadily. There were more and more guards around him. The hundreds of people guarding him will all be slaughtered. Stop! 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 What are you going to do? I am Kuang Lion, the commander of the first Black Iron Legion of the 308th Bronze Legion, stop attacking me. A fiery red figure rushed over from a distance, and immediately let out roars. Fang Fan glanced indifferently, and then continued to say calmly, keep killing. Those who still resist, kill them all. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1608. It's a newcomer, since someone is targeting him, let him target it. From Fang Fan's point of view, this is a crazy idea. In such an idea, everything must make way for this. The first time he came, he had to be intimidated, at least he had to let others know his willpower. The killing continues. The fiery red figure in the distance was still roaring wildly. What are you doing? Don't. How could you do this? You madman! Madman! How dare you massacre the officers of my 308th Bronze Legion? The fiery red figure is naturally the Kuang Lion, the head of the first Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion. At this moment, the way of roaring madly is quite impressive. The fighting continued, the killing continued, and it came to an end in the sound of crazy killings. Everything is at peace. The group of stubborn and self-proclaimed brave guys fell into a pool of blood and ended their lives forever. What the hell are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? You bastard! My people are also the ones you can kill casually. 308 Kuang Lion, the head of the first Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, rushed over with a face of fury, and wanted to slap Fang Fan on the face. Snapped. The loud slap was slapped on the fierce lion without any compromise. As for Fang Fan, he stood indifferently and naturally. He just mobilized the power of the servants of the Rage God a little bit, and then launched a counterattack. His seat is the colorful little female dragon Annie. Annie in the 3-star Sanctuary realm can fully crush the mighty lion in front of her. The head of the 308th Bronze Legion, the first Black Iron Legion. If you commit the following crimes, I can kill you directly. Fang Fan's eyes full of murderous intent focused on this wild lion, and then he said lightly, the power is shocking. You are talking nonsense. I didn't even know you were the new bronze inspector. Wild Lion stared and said excitedly. It's wild, but it's just that the melon seeds in this head are really not very bright, and I always feel stupid and can't tell. Is it? I never told you that I am the bronze inspector, how did you know? Or did you know it early on? These are all your handwriting? Are you deliberately setting up a situation to kill me? Tisk, murdering the Shangguan seems to be a crime of extermination, right? Fang Fan's indifferent voice continued, and the violent lion's body trembled violently, completely dumbfounded. At this moment, a pair of eyes are staring, lips are trembling, and even the most basic words can't be said. The panic in my heart at this moment is difficult to express in words. This kind of fear is growing crazily. Wild Lion's body trembled slightly, and he seemed somewhat guilty at the moment. From all angles, this sense of panic was increasing crazily. So it's the new bronze inspector. Nice to meet you. A hearty laugh suddenly came from a distance. The leader, wearing a purple quilt with a light smile on his face, looked extraordinarily gentle. Fang Fan Bronze Supervisor, I am Wenquan, the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion. I don't know that Fang Fan's Bronze Supervisor has arrived, but I am far away to welcome you. I still look forward to Hai Han. As the man in the purple quilt was talking, more and more smiles piled up on his face. It's just that this smile is a bit sincere, so I don't know. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1609. From the first moment he saw the man in the purple quilt, Fang Fan thought he was a smiling tiger. This is not discrimination, it is the most genuine feeling in my heart. What's the matter with the dead bodies all over the floor? Who killed it? Who dares to kill my soldiers of the 308th Bronze Legion? Come on. Catch all those who did it. Execute on the spot. Fang Fan Bronze Inspector is here, how can these thugs run rampant? Kill. Kill all these thugs who disturbed the order. Out of the crowd, an old man wearing a light blue robe suddenly walked out, his eyes were staring straight, and there was a sense of resentment in his words. As soon as he gave an order, an army rushed over, trying to wipe out the 7 Blood Shuras and the 6 heroes of the Blood Shura Legion. Fang Fan secretly squinted his eyes, and there were gleams of light in his eyes. This is the rhythm to force him to submit. Interesting, really, interesting. Kill them all. Who are you trying to kill? These are my personal guards, follow my orders. Do you want to kill me too? Besides, shouldn't these people deserve to die? Fang Fan leaned forward, his eyes were sharp and crazy, and he stared straight at the old man in light blue robes in front of him, with horror flowing in his eyes. What do you mean? What mistake did they make? They are just doing their duty faithfully, sticking to their posts, and completing their tasks. What's wrong? It's your personal guard who didn't care about injustice, and directly attacked and killed. You have made a big mistake. Of course, we still believe that Lord Bronze Inspector definitely didn't get involved in it. It's all your personal guard's own ideas, so, it has nothing to do with Lord Bronze Inspector. But please, Lord Bronze Supervisor, don't stop us from enforcing the law, this is the rule of our 308th Bronze Legion. Snapped. Before the old man in the light blue robe finished speaking, Fang Fan slapped him with a big ear. His voice was extremely clear, and it sounded special. What are you doing? Why did you hit me? Are you crazy? The eyes of the old man in the light blue robe showed extreme resentment, and while shouting, he was about to pounce directly. You are too noisy. Dare to frame my personal guard without even the slightest evidence, haha, is the next step going to be to frame this inspector? Give you a slap in the face to wake you up? What? Not convinced? Then one more. Snapped. The slap sounded again was still so crisp. The old man in the light blue robe became more and more confused. Fang Fan. I am the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop of the temple. How dare you, a 5th rank bishop, be disrespectful to me? You're crazy. Kneel down. Apologize. The old man in the light blue robe didn't want to hide it at all. Crazy roars came out of his mouth, and then he rushed towards Fang Fan with his teeth and claws. One more step forward, kill. As you said just now, this is the 308th Bronze Legion. I am the inspector of the 308th Bronze Legion, and what is your identity? How dare you tell me what to do here? In the army, post is respect. Do you still need me to teach you this truth? Fang Fan snorted coldly, full of arrogance. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1610. Since he is here to stand up, the aura he should have must be displayed, otherwise the massacre will be for nothing. The old man in the light blue robe rolled his eyes viciously, and his face was so gloomy that he was about to drip water. He wanted to continue to come forward to teach Fang Fan a lesson, but he really didn't have this list. Now he would have. He knows exactly what will happen. He didn't want to bear the result, he was afraid of death. Fang Fan Bronze Inspector, why are you doing this? There is no need to get so angry with them, is there? We have already set up a banquet on the island, and we are waiting for you to enter. As for these things, to put it bluntly, it's just a misunderstanding. Faced with such a misunderstanding, why did you act so hastily? As the middle-aged man in the purple quilt spoke, his eyes became more and more earnest, and his thoughts became real. Fang Fan smiled lightly, although he knew that all these layers were all bureaus, but he didn't mind being a part of the bureau. It's best for everyone to live in peace, as long as it doesn't block his way, anything is fine. But if you're too overwhelmed, then this matter is really endless. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and the corners of his mouth suddenly turned up, such thoughts suddenly churned in his mind. He came to Xingyu Island to establish his honor, and he didn't care about anything else. A farce gradually draws the curtain. The first Black Iron Legion of the 308th Bronze Legion, who had been killed by hundreds of people, had no choice but to admit it. At this moment, they more or less felt some sense of fear and horror. To a certain extent, it also made my position clearer. For example, in the present moment, all kinds of situations are clear at a glance. This new bronze inspector doesn't seem like a good stubble. Hey, I'm going to be unlucky, take it easy, don't be caught by others. It's just, save your own life first. If you fight against this person, you have to see if you are the material. If you don't move, you will be slaughtered. Who can stand it? Did you see it? Even the Wild Lion Legion of the 1st Black Iron Legion and the Xianan Inspector are scared. He, the head of the Wild Lion Black Iron Army, has always been known for its bravery. Who knew that this time the head of the Wild Lion Black Iron Army was slapped and didn't even fight back? Tisk, how do you fight back? I've blown your head off, and now you fight back, that's the real death. Who dares to refuse to accept the death-defying little expert? Anyway, let's take it easy on our own. Whatever this Fang Fan Bronze Inspector wants to do, just cooperate as much as possible. Preliminary display of military power, preliminary stabilization of the battle situation. Fang Fan walked in front, exhaled secretly, with a smile on his face. He was not a tyrant, he just came here, he beheaded hundreds of soldiers of the 308th Bronze Legion, and even showed an inhumane and reckless appearance, in order to leave a deep impression in their hearts. He, Fang Fan, is not easy to bully. If you really want to bully, you have to deal with the consequences of your own death. On the banquet, there were staggered toasts and cups, which was a special touch. Along the way, Fang Fan also scanned around, and found that the 308 Bronze Legion was not as disastrous as imagined, and its vitality was greatly damaged. According to the news, at this moment, the 308 Bronze Legion of the Azure Dragon Legion had just experienced a major war, nearly half of them were killed in battle, and only 500,000 of the million people survived, of which 400,000 were still seriously injured, and only 100,000 were ready to fight. But now, the situation is quite different.